We continue our special report series, Dying for Answers. Now, in the fourth piece of this series, KTEP, along with KTSM, sitting down with the El Paso Police Department.
And KTSM 9 News reporter Carla Draxler tells us more about EPPD's training and how they investigate deaths that happen in custody. Carla.
Natasha and Andy, after breaking down the death of Daniel Diaz, his family's fight for video footage and documents about his death, and looking into other use of force cases, El Paso Police explains what the investigation into Diaz's death looked from the inside.
Autopsy reports telling us that the manner of death was homicide. Then for us, it's like, who killed him? Improper use of force is what killed him.
Daniel Diaz's family questioning the use of force of the 7 El Paso police officers shown in surveillance video striking and kicking Diaz. KTSM and KTEP sat down with EPPD Sergeant Robert Gomez, sharing how officers are trained to deal with people resisting arrest.
The program is called HICS. It prepares officers for combative suspects, defending themselves.
First responding officer to the lunchbox writes in a statement shared with Texas Rangers that she observed Diaz being in distress.
Annual training and our refresher courses do often touch on, individuals that are going through crisis.
However, he says they're open to more training.
With staffing shortages, we have to balance training with response, and it becomes difficult.
Diaz's family believes the officers did not use the proper techniques to calm down the situation, but for officers, Sergeant Gomez says de-escalation is not always an option.
How to apply that is very, very dictated by the situation you're in.
Referring to the circumstances in Diaz's case, Gomez says the officers used methods they were trained for.
I'm sure it was very hard to get his hands from the front of his body to the back of his body. And the officers did what they felt was necessary.
If it's allowed by policy that responding police officers can strike people in the head, then we should probably be having a conversation about should police officers be allowed to hit people in the head or not.
I can only tell you that those techniques are authorized under certain circumstances, and based on the investigation and the outcome of it, I can only assume that they were authorized because the officers were exonerated by the board.
Speaking of the disciplinary review board that is a part of EPPD's Internal Affairs Department, the board consists of 6 civilians selected by the police chief and 6 sworn personnel with the assistant chief as chair. They're the ones who ultimately decide what repercussions officers face if they applied excessive or deadly use of force. This happens after the investigation into the incident is completed.
We have 3 independent investigations, so it's very transparent, and it's running 3 independent agencies.
For any in-custody death case, the 3 agencies include Crimes Against Persons Unit, Internal Affairs, and an independent Texas Rangers investigation. In Diaz's case, EPPD provided Texas Rangers with written statement from all 7 police officers several days after the incident. No interviews were conducted. CAP concluded their investigation in August of 2021, 4 months after the incident. Then the following year in June, Texas Rangers completed theirs. However, the EPPD Internal Affairs investigation wasn't finished until March of 2023.
I understand that the family wants to know, and I understand that they, considering filing lawsuits. But our primary concern is to find out exactly what happened.
Diaz's family feeling left in the dark.
We do keep in touch with families or people involved in incidents and give them the updates that we're able to.
My father-in-law was not contacted. My brother-in-law was not contacted. We were not contacted to ask questions, to ask about that. We never even got his belongings.
The family requested video and documents right after Diaz's death, but didn't receive them until almost 2 years later, leaving the family with about a month before they are able to sue the city. Prior to this, the city denied them records, stating the case was under investigation at the district attorney's office, which the DA disputed. The city told KTSM about releasing records from the police department in a statement saying, "Our office relies on EPPD records staff to determine whether an EPPD case is still open as a pending investigation or was referred for prosecution to DA's office, but police say otherwise."
We just give all the records that you're asking for to them, and what's released is based on what they determine, not us.
On September 14th, El Paso will have a new police chief, an opportunity for conversation around training and transparency to continue. but one El Paso family grieving their loved one, wondering what if.
It's a tragic event when anyone dies and anybody's loved one dies. That's something that goes without saying. And there's no amount of words that I can give that can bring back or comfort a family that's grieving for their loved one, no matter the circumstances.
Diaz's family decided not to sue the city of El Paso, but they say they're closely following who will be the next chief of the El Paso Police Department. Tomorrow, all 4 candidates will be presented at a public meeting with the community able to ask questions. In our last part of Dying for Answers, we look into the future. What does the community expect from a new police chief? Back to you.
Carla, thank you. Coming